So, there was this guy who was seriously struggling with his emotions. Like big time. He was always getting angry and frustrated, and it was really messing with him. So he goes to Gautam Buddha, hoping for some life-changing advice on how to deal with all that. Buddha, being all chill, smiles at him and says, "All right, sit down. Let me tell you a little story." So once upon a time, there's this king, right? He's ruling this super prosperous kingdom. One day, he decides to visit a neighboring kingdom because he's heard that the king over there is like super wise and all. When he gets there, they welcome him with open arms and throw this massive feast in his honor. Everything's going great until the king spots a fly in his soup. Gross, right? So he's disgusted and immediately orders his servant to get him a new bowl. The king of the neighboring kingdom sees this and is like, "Your Majesty, don't let a little fly ruin your day. It's just a tiny thing, no big deal." But our king's not having it and says, "I can't deal with stuff like this. Even a small thing like a fly can totally ruin my mood." The wise king just smiles and drops some wisdom. It's not the fly that's messing with you. It's your reaction to it. You've got the power to control your emotions, man. Don't let them control you. Our king has this light bulb moment and heads back to his kingdom with a whole new outlook. From that day on, he starts practicing how to keep his cool in situations that would have normally ticked him off. And guess what? He realizes he can stay calm under pressure and make way better decisions. This whole thing about not reacting, it's pretty huge. We all tend to react on impulse sometimes, and that usually leads to all sorts of drama. I mean, getting angry and frustrated doesn't just mess with our relationships, it screws up our ability to think straight. But here's the deal. Not reacting doesn't mean bottling up your emotions. Emotions are totally normal. It's just about processing them and responding in a way that won't come back to bite you. Now, across the globe, there's this dude named Michael. He's super emotional, like always reacting on impulse, and it's causing some serious issues. He'd blow up, say stuff he didn't mean, and end up hurting the people he cared about. One day, Michael's like, "All right, I need to get a grip on this." He knows his knee-jerk reactions are causing more harm than good, so he starts getting into mindfulness and meditation. It's not easy at first. Old habits die hard, right? But whenever he feels that anger bubbling up, he takes a breath, steps back, and thinks before he acts. Over time, he starts to notice a difference. He's not getting into pointless arguments, and he's not hurting anyone's feelings. Instead, he's communicating in a way that's calm and thoughtful. And his relationships start getting a whole lot better. One day, a friend of Michael's comes to him, super stressed out, looking for some advice. Michael listens, offers some kind words, and his friend's like, "Dude, how do you stay so calm? You never seem to get angry." Michael just smiles and says, "It's not that I don't get angry. I totally do. I've just learned how to control it instead of letting it control me." It's made a world of difference. His friends all impressed and ask how he did it. So Michael shares his journey with mindfulness and how not reacting has changed his life. And his friend? Totally grateful for the advice. Eventually, Michael becomes known for his chill, thoughtful vibe. People start noticing how he handles tough situations like a pro, and they really admire his strength and calmness. He keeps up with his mindfulness practice and keeps working on not reacting, finding that it brings him this deep sense of peace and happiness. At the end of the day, the lesson here is pretty clear. We all have the power to control our emotions. We might not be able to change what happens to us, but we can definitely choose how we respond. And by practicing mindfulness and mastering the art of not reacting, we can improve our relationships, make better decisions, and live a happier life. So yeah, anger's going to be around as long as we hold on to resentment, but as soon as we let go, it starts to fade. The real power comes from holding back that anger, controlling it, instead of letting it run wild. Holding on to anger, that's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to keel over. And honestly, those who can conquer themselves are stronger than anyone who wins 1,000 battles. Peace, it's an inside job. Don't go looking for it anywhere else. And when you get pissed off during an argument, you're not even fighting for the truth anymore. You're just fighting for your ego. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. You won't be punished for your anger, but by it. And the root of suffering? Attachment. If you want to be happy, Practice letting go and compassion. That's where true freedom lies. So let's be real. Better than 1,000 empty words is one word that brings peace. We are shaped by our thoughts, so let's make them count. Don't waste time dwelling on the past or stressing about the future. Just focus on right now. Happiness? It's all about letting go of attachment. The mind, it's everything. What you think, you become. If you really want to make a difference, start with yourself. Happiness isn't something that just shows up at your door. It's something you create through your actions. And the mind, it's like water. When it's calm, everything becomes clear.